In this brief tutorial, I'm just going to demonstrate how to do a column chart for two data series with two different conditions. So this is the final chart that we will end up creating, and we're going to do that from data presented up here in these Excel tables. So here we've got unshod data and shod data, and in both conditions we've got the same variables or data series, which is impact peak, minimum trough, active peak and average loading rate. Now the data series that we're interested in is impact peak and active peak. Those are the ones that we want to display or that we think are particularly interesting. So first of all, to make things a bit easier, I'm just going to hide these columns here that have been used to calculate the mean. So if we just hide those, makes it a lot easier, and just need to get that out of the way. Over there. I might use those later actually, so we'll just pop those up there for the time being. So the first thing we need to do is we need to select some data to begin making the chart. So we're going to, as I said, we're going to look at the impact peak and the active peak. So first of all, we select the data for the impact peak in the unshod condition and also the shod condition. We go to charts, column and a clustered column. This is the start of our data. Now anything we want to do to this table now, we need to do it via the select icon here. So we're now going to select, and first of all I want to name this series. So I'm going to name the series impact peak. Impact peak. Okay, and then I'm going to add a second series, and this is going to be called active peak. So I've got active peak, and now I just need to tell it where to get the data from. So I go to the Y values here, and I'm going to get the data from mean data, sorry, not that one, mean data there, and also mean data here. Okay, and then we, so we've got the two data series showing. What we haven't got showing, and what I can also do whilst I've got this icon open, is we can put some labels on the bottom here to label these individual conditions. So we do that by selecting this box here, the category X axis labels, and for this X axis we want to put unshod and shod. Okay, and we're going to OK that. So this is the start of our chart now. I might just make it a little bit bigger. So the units are appropriate already. Normally we work to 2 decimal places. So the units are appropriate because this would only be 2.50 or 3.0, 3.50, etc. So they're fine, but we do need to add some labels to the axes. So we go axes titles, the vertical title. We normally have it rotated, and this is the peak force, and it's measured in body weight. Okay, so we've got that there now. We'll just click out of that. We've got that at font size 10, so I might just make that a little bit clearer up to 12, and it's bold, and then also make this bottom one here, we'll make that 12 and also bold. Probably for consistency this should actually be in lowercase, because then you've got consistency between the two axes. So to do that, if I just now type this in unshod and shod, and then we shall see the chart update. Okay, so we've got quite garish colours here, red and blue. So to maybe make those a little bit conservative, just double click on the columns, go to fill option and select a colour. For 2 data series I would normally use white and black. I'll go OK, or white and grey, and again with this one if we go to grey there, we can press OK. And then another personal preference is grid lines. So if you need the chart to display high accuracy data, then perhaps leave the grid lines on, but if it doesn't need to be so accurate, then you can take the grid lines off if it will save, people really don't need to look at it in that much detail. So to take the grid lines off, we go to format, grid lines, no grid lines. That's it. So now we can see the chart really coming together, and probably there's only a couple more things we need to add. One of those would be a chart title. So we put the title first of all above the chart, and a title normally explains what the chart is about and also contains some units of measurement. So here we've measured peak forces, body weight during shod and unshod running, and then we might just make that font size 12, and generally with charts we put the title at the bottom. So we're just going to manipulate this slightly, put it at the bottom, and for argument's sake we're going to call this figure 1. Normally it might be wise to actually add your figure in Word, because then you know exactly what figure number it is in the document. And the last thing, or the last two things we can do to this data is add error bars. Now to do that we select the data series, we go up to error bars, and we want to use error bars with our own standard deviation, so we need to customize them slightly. So we go to custom, specify value, and here we put in the positive value. So first of all here we're looking at impact peak, and here we've got the standard deviation in unshod. We select that, and the standard deviation in shod, and we only want to show the error lines going in one direction, no need to show them in both directions, and we OK that. And now we want to add the error bars for the active peak. So again we go to error bars, error bar options, custom, specify value. And once again now we were looking at this column, the active peak column, we go to standard deviation there, select that, and also go to the standard deviation there, and we click OK. And once again we're only going to display them in one direction. There we've got our error bars. Now the last indicator you might want to include on a graph is statistical significance, and normally that's shown with an asterisk, so there might be a difference between these two variables here, or between these two conditions, and to do that we normally use the asterisk, and we would place that, I can just drag that, and we place that, if I place that between these two, that indicates that there is, don't know where that's gone, so we'll just go insert text box, pop another one in there which is an asterisk, like that. And I'll just make that slightly bigger so you'll be able to see it. So we'll go maybe 12 or maybe 14. So look, 14 slightly bigger, and then we also normally include a text box that tells us the level of significance. Then that's not going to work, so we'll go insert text box, and here we put P is greater than 0.05, which is typically the value we would use, but you could put any value in there, and we make it in italics. So if we just do a checklist, we've got consistent titles, axis titles, we've got appropriate units, we've got error bars and statistical significance. We've taken the grid lines off as you don't really think we need them. Probably the last thing to do actually is just add a border around there. So if we double click there, we go line, okay. We can maybe weight that, maybe just go up to 1, okay, and then we've got a nice border. And what we would do then is obviously just select this chart and do a cut and paste, and then pop it into Word and paste it as a picture. And if you paste it as a picture, it takes up a lot less data, it uses a lot less data, and also other people are not able to edit it. So that concludes this short demonstration of how to conduct a column chart, or how to produce a column chart using 2 data series.